you too can become a hero. That's why I want.
What is up, you guys? It's the Fallout What If here, and today I'm going to be doing the What If. A new What If. It's probably just it's a romantic What If. It's there's still gonna be stuff happening, but it's gonna have it's gonna have a new person, as you can see right here, Jolyne Cujo, or JoJo for short. How this is gonna happen? Everything in the past happened, except for pretty much the timeline right until Jolyne became who she is. I don't actually know too much about her. I know about her past, how she was first innocent, and she can hear things. She can hear sometimes people's thoughts. I'm somewhat. She's smart. She's really smart. You know, like her parents and her grandparents. Like, she's pretty much have that JoJo mindset. As you can see right there, she's full JoJo. As you can see with the pose and everything about it. Now, in this one, Jolyne is not going to be in the school. Not necessarily. She's going to actually be, she's going to be married to him. So basically, it's what if Deku married Jolyne Cujo, or what if Jolyne Cujo and Deku were soulmates. So to how it's gonna go. Right between Deku goes into I'm aging her. I'm aging her to Deku's age, so to make it easier. Jolyne, right when Deku was going to become, a hero, or not a hero. Once he got accepted and fought the sludge villain, Jolyne basically intervened. In this timeline, Jolyne Cujo, or JoJo for short, basically met Deku by saving him. Now, he doesn't actually have a stand. He doesn't have a stand at first. But Jolyne still has her stand. Nobody knows she has a quirk, but she also has a stand. Her quirk is basically, enhanced hearing. She has really good hearing, and she's also pretty much, she's good at hearing, and her stand is basically Stone Ocean. Or I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called Stone Ocean. Now, while Deku's stuck there, Jolyne basically grabs him using Stone Ocean's, ropes, tying him up and pulling him towards her. Her actually catching him. Because she's a bit taller than Deku. So Deku's basically looking at her, and he's kind of amazed at her beauty. Jolyne says, "Hey, Rudd, are you okay? It seems pretty scary seeing that guy from the inside." And Deku says, I'm okay. It's no problem at all. I was about to die, but I'm Izuku." And this is when he's pretty much covering his face, and Jolyne says, "You're kind of cute. I like that." Now, mind you, who is that guy right there? And basically, the sludge villain says, "What's it to you, doll? I'm the sludge villain." I forgot his name, so just to let you know, Deku basically says, "That guy's not my friend. He choked me." He basically said that he was going to use my body, or needed me to get out of a situation. This is when Deku explains everything. Jolyne sees that he's not a good guy, and basically uses Stone Ocean, wrapping the sludge villain up, and basically squeezing so hard that all the sludge pieces just go everywhere, causing the sludge villain just to be so small. And this is when Jolyne looks at the sludge villain, and she proceeds to say, well, Izuku, what do I do with him? And this is when, he says, we should just report him to the, police, or put him up in a bottle. This is when she just starts stomping on him. And this is when she says, this is for almost killing somebody. And this is when Izuku says, what are you doing? Why are you doing all that? Jolyne explains, he did something bad. Something bad will happen to him. The fact that he's still alive, and he's going to be put in a bottle, is kindness enough. This is when Izuku says, okay. And basically, she says, oh, look, All Might's here. And Izuku says, where? Wait, All Might's not here? Miss, my name is Jolyne. You don't have to call me Miss. We're the same age. This is when he says, okay, Jolyne. You said All Might was here, but I don't hear him. And, well, All Might appears, saying, I am here. And this is when he looks at everything and sees that there's a bottle and there's a sludge villain right there. He's just wondering to himself, what just happened, and how did this sludge villain go, well, in there? Jolyne explains everything to All Might, and her having to basically, subdue it, or almost getting killed. This is when All Might says, oh, okay. Well, since my time is done, I will talk to you. I hope to see you again one day, Miss Kujo and young Midoriya. This is when he basically says, that's All Might. And she says, yeah, that's All Might. Give me a second here, people. Okay, sorry about that. Now, she and him just basically get out of there. And she explains to him what just happened. She says that she feels that he's trustworthy. She doesn't understand why, but Izuku explains to her about his whole situation. He doesn't have a quirk. And Jolyne actually doesn't feel too bad about it. I mean, she barely knew that she had a quirk at first, but she has her own stand. So it makes more than enough for this whole situation for like Jolyne to be, oh, okay, I feel bad for you. Don't get me wrong, but I don't feel too bad. And this is when Izuku tells her, his whole story. He actually explains everything to a good detail, such as, him getting bullied, him sometimes trying to commit suicide. I mean, I feel like that's what he would have been doing in the beginning. He probably would have been, doing that. Now, Izuku looks at Jolyne, and he says, I really wish that I could have a power like what you say. But this is when Izuku explains the whole thing, and another thing happens the explosion happens a couple of minutes after that. And this is when Deku sees Bakugo trapped under some rubble due to the sludge villain. And actually, it's not because of the sludge villain. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Bakugo actually created a bunch of explosions after the sludge villain tried to get himself on to Bakugo. But Bakugo is, exploded a heck of a lot of places right now. Next, by the inside of the alleyway. While inside of the alley, what is it called? Izuku sees that. Well, he sees that Bakugo's stuck under some rubble, and if he explodes anymore, then they can't do anything about it. This is when Jolyne just starts running in, saying that it doesn't matter. They're not going to know anything about it, but they would think that, she has some kind of weird telekinesis quirk, probably including her enhanced hearing. She's trying to make it up as she goes along. But this is when Deku sees that Jolyne actually got caught. Now, let me explain this. The stands, they still apply. The stand rules still apply. They're not seen by ordinary humans. Even if they have quirks, let me just clarify it. Even if there's people that could see outside the realm, stands are their own unique thing. Nobody can detect them. But Izuku doesn't see that. All he just knows is that Jolyne is getting actually in trouble because this, whatever she calls, isn't, what's it called? It isn't just a regular stand. It's a stand that could basically unravel itself to be string. And if it's all compacted into a humanoid shape, then it could cause major damage. Now, with all the rubble there, she can't actually guarantee Bakugo's safety, and she gets trapped. But she's trying to find Izuku, and Izuku is right on top of her, actually wondering what happened. She basically hears Izuku saying that he's in a lot of pain, crying a bit, saying that this actually hurts because a couple of chunks of rebar got stabbed into one of his arms and a part of his chest. Izuku is right there crying, and this is when Jolyne is shocked to see Izuku. Now, wouldn't Izuku be, or not Izuku, wouldn't Jolyne stand basically destroy an asteroid? Well, that's what a lot of people would say. Like, basically, it could destroy it could basically be as strong as an asteroid or whatever it was called. But you have to remember, her stand base has to be used specially, otherwise they can all die or cause a lot of more damage, like the rubble basically flying into the air and killing casualties. She has to prepare herself for this, but Izuku being there is not helping at all. Now, Izuku, basically she looks at Izuku and says that there's no way that she can help him. Even if she was to cover the wounds right now, then that means that the stand won't be able to carry anything and not hold back, Bakugo's, the rest of Bakugo's rubble, basically causing it to lift up just slightly to where he doesn't actually have to explode stuff. And even the heroes are looking at, or the small time heroes are looking at them like, what are these kids are idiots. Now there's more casualties, and there's no fire department coming up. They're trying to take out the fire. All Might's right there. He can't even do nothing. This is when Izuku just tries to say that I wanted to be a hero. And he's just looking up. He's just looking dazed, saying, "I really want to be a hero, and even though this hurts, it feels kind of nice, you know. Like a part of me is now, what is it? Free. I don't have to worry too much. All I can just see is just an endless void of nothing, just spiraling out of control. If I die right now, Miss Cujo, I just want you to know, right now that I'm happy that I met you. I'm happy that, we got to talk. I'm glad that you acknowledged me, and instead of acknowledging me without a quirk and looking down on me, you were trying to build me up. Nobody's done that like the way you did it. Not even my mother. So, Jolyne, I guess is the end. Hopefully you actually live, at least you. And hopefully Bakugo is to live too. Even though he doesn't like me, I still have to take care of him. This is when Izuku is basically smiling. And Jolyne feeling even more, having new feelings for this whole situation, and even for Deku, seeing that not only did she get protected, even though she could have probably done this without Izuku's help, he really just thanked her in the end, even being happy as he died. Sorry, I hate yawning, but she was even happy. He was even happy when he died, saying that as long as she lives, that's even with or without Bakugo being alive, he's just happy. But this is when Jolyne tells Izuku that I can't let you die. I can't let you die. You are something that, even though I really hate it. I hate when things don't go my way. I'm gonna change this whole thing, even if it's the last thing I do. And this is when basically, sorry if I use basically all the time. Basically it's easy for me to explain it, and it's easier for me to remember stuff. So, what was I at? Oh, when Jolyne basically declared that he shall live once again, she grabbed a piece of metal. If you guys seen the first part of or I don't know if it was metal or some kind of thing. If you guys seen the show from like JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Stone's Ocean or something like that, you would see that there is something like some kind of a metal, and Jolyne got cut. So basically she stabbed Izuku a couple of times, just like, come on, work. Not ever actually seeing how this whole thing works. It's only on her finger. Like I said, this is her in this part, where without having to see different people, or she's not in prison at all. I mean, she went to juvie. I'll give her that. She went to juvie beforehand. But she hasn't seen anything like this. Now, Izuku sees nothing. He's in an endless void, in a cycle of pain and happiness, wondering what's gonna happen to him next. He hopes that he can probably go into a new adventure, or probably have the same life again, but just different occurrences. This is when something pulls him back, and basically, well, pulls Izuku back and just pushes him into the same universe where his soul just reached into him. And Izuku, looking at Jolyne, saying that he's in pain and it hurts. Why is he alive again? And Jolyne says, look, there's not a lot of time. Right now, I can summon my stand for a while, but I can't just summon him and just let him not do nothing. It's kind of draining, if you know what I mean. This is when Izuku says, but wait a minute, what are you talking about? And this is when he sees that Jolyne has a piece of string on her, and it's blue. And this is when this is when he sees that it's attached to something, and right beside him is freaking Stone Ocean. Izuku is well, shocked, B, terrified, C, amazed, and D, all of the above. So Izuku says, what is that? And who is that? Jolyne says, quick explanation. This is called a stand, like I told you before. But now, since you got stabbed with this piece of metal, now you could probably have one and see one for yourself. And if you die because of this whole thing, then yeah, that's what happens. And you won't be able to see it either way. But now that I showed you, now you see it, and now it means that you possibly have a stand. Now, concentrate really hard on your stand and just bring them out. This is when Izuku pictures a hero. Something heroic. Something that can get them out of a situation. Something that can just go through anything and just keep pushing. Something that has determination not to give up. And he has to be determined too, saying that he's gonna be a hero. He's gonna be a hero. Sorry. And he just yells out that I want to be a hero. And all you see is a little tiny, an egg. And if you guys remember Koichi's ability, or no, his stand, where it turned into an egg. Think of like a box that has a drill, and all Jolyne sees is that, wait, it's a drill? I don't know what it's going to do, but Izuku says, alright, you're a drill, but, you know, I need you to do something here, buddy, or we're gonna die. We need to push and get out of here. And this is when the drill basically starts just nodding its head. And this is when the drill starts to go and go and go and rotate. Izuku says, this is amazing. He's never thought that he would have something like this, nor he would have something like a quirk. And this is when the drills just start, drilling. It starts drilling and drilling up to the surface, to where there's a lot of, to where basically the drill it can only be one person at a time. But Izuku says, I have a better idea. Hey, box drill, or whatever your name is, I need you to just keep drilling a big circle until it becomes nothing more than, rubble. Just pure rubble. And this is when the drill just starts going, drill, 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 drill. And it drills, and it keeps drilling and drilling and drilling. And this is when, basically, it drills up to, like, what, 12 tons full of stuff. Like, this drill was just going, and Izuku basically sees Bakugo, and he says, "Drill, I need you to drill Bakugo out of here, or make a hole big enough for Bakugo to get out of." This is when the drill just starts drilling stuff again, and he says, "This thing is amazing. I'm shocked on how this thing works." And this is when he sees, well, Jolyne looking at him and saying that it's not just the drill that's amazing. It's Izuku. Izuku did this on his own without the interference of, Jolene's help. He has to admit, she's sorry for that. She's never actually seen somebody, like, besides her family and 15 other people with stands, but they're pretty much in different countries, much less Japan. Izuku says, this little tiny, this box with a drill on it, it's actually cute. This is when the drill actually has a little shade of red. And it's like, oh, don't worry, you're my friend. This is when the drill actually just starts, the drill actually pops out with the string attached to it. And not only that, the box actually has an arm, 2 arms on it, or technically an arm on each side of the front. And then it has a head on the top where there's not a drill. And on the bottom, next by the drill, next by the rope, is 2 little tiny legs. Actually, looking like has a drill. It has the string, and then the drill as the tip of the tail. And this is when Izuku looks at it. I wish I had a picture, but think a box version of a Pikachu with the tail and with the tail of a freaking a tail that's basically a black piece of black rope with a drill bit on the top, or the drill bit at the very end of it. Yeah, this thing is going to be very strong when it comes to doing its own thing. Give me a second here, people. Now, Izuku Izuku after that goes to his home. This is when Jolyne, follows him. After 2 minutes of realizing where she's going with and who that she's following him, Izuku says that, is she actually gonna be like following him into his house? And she says yes. This is when Izuku says, I don't think it's a good idea. My mom, she doesn't know you, and not only that, she might think that we're dating. And this is when Jolyne says, oh, okay. Do you not like me? This is when Izuku says, I don't. I don't not like you. I think you're a good person, and I think you're very sweet. This is when she says, so I walk with you. And Izuku says, I think it's I wouldn't like it if I was to make you bored and all that stuff. And after a couple of times of him trying to explain to her, She basically uses a stone ocean and just uses the ropes to wrap, to basically tie his mouth and wrap his arms up. This is what she this is what she says. All right, now, Izuku, walk. And basically, Izuku is kind of just defeated, and you know, now being kind of humiliated into being a pet. This is when she explains that she is really bored at the house, and his father and his uncles are taking care of some people right now, and it's not very fun just being alone in the house. I mean, I have my mom, but she's not a fun person. I mean, she's kind of there for me, but right now I need excitement, and you're the only one that's actually done something worthy of my attention. Izuku says, I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. This is when she basically tightens the ropes a bit, and Izuku's like, I shouldn't have said that. So they go to his house, they go into his room, nothing actually happens. She looks at him and says that, she really had a good time today. And hopefully, they can start hanging out. And Izuku says, well, okay. I mean, I should be okay with this. I guess I'm kind of scared, of having guests in the house, and I never actually had, like, a real friend to be there. This is when Jolyne forgets about the whole thing that Izuku says, and then once she realizes it, she says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. And Izuku says, no. It's okay. It's okay. Now, Izuku explains to her everything about the Hero Society and all that stuff, and him wanting to go to, the UI Academy. And once she figures out that Izuku is madly in love with, the whole hero facade, this is when she says, so why don't you go? And Izuku says, that's what I was thinking. I really want to go, but I don't know. I'm not, I'm not a fighter. I can't even do anything before before having a quirk, or before having a stand. I was just nothing. I feel like I would just be cheating. And Jolyne explains about, well, she explains to him that she had only a hearing quirk. I mean, she doesn't even understand how it works herself. She thinks it's either part of her stand or a part of her ability as a Joestar. Izuku says, a Joestar? And she explains a bit about there being a time where there was a man named Dio who did bad. But after that, after his death, it wasn't, it wasn't anything bad afterwards. So Izuku tells her that he's gonna try either way. Maybe he'll lose, but at least he'll know that in the end he tried. So it's not like he can call himself a failure, because in the end he tried. Izuku says that, and well, Jolyne looks at him and says, "Alright, let's go for it." And Izuku says, "Yeah, let's go for it as well." Shit, sorry about that. Uh, Izuku says, "Yeah, let us go." And after that, the 10-month training begins with Izuku and her moving stuff around, and Izuku feels more safe with her. She feels like nothing bad's gonna happen, and if something bad happens, then they can use, their stands. With this, they don't get it. They don't do it as fast. I mean, they don't clean it up. It actually takes 7 months to clean this whole thing up, instead of like the less time, because mostly they were training their physical bodies, but at the same time they were using their stands and seeing how it truly how it can be used effectively for Izuku in combat. Izuku actually finds out about different things with his stand, such as it could be a signal which is highly powered, so powerful it's kind of like a sonar. So he can actually use it as a tracker and find people easily. Not only that, his thing gives him a boost in his abilities, somewhat making him stronger, because it's think of it like this: the energy that it takes to make a drill bit go takes a lot of power, or takes a fair amount of power. And I know this because I use a drill at work, so I know you can't just use it all willy-nilly, or otherwise the power's gonna just turn off, or there's not gonna be any juice in it left. So whatever's inside of it, it basically boosts the person's, overall capabilities, making them capable to do anything in combat. It could also work on some stand. It could also work on a stand, but there's not a lot of stand users, but it could also help with different things. Now, Izuku, playing around with this situation, actually unlocks his level 2 stand. There's a lot of levels to this. This kind of thing grows even faster, because Izuku has the most potential out of pretty much a lot of them. Now, this drill bit has 2 drills, and this one, think of that gray little alien, that Echo from Ben 10, or if not that, just think about the let's just say Gurren Lagann, because I know that's the anime with drills. I can actually just take the same concept. Alright, instead of a tiny box, it's a bigger box, but it has a drill for a nose, and it also has a drill for a tail. So yeah, just think of that. Now, with this, Izuku actually finds out that this thing is way more stronger than it was beforehand, several times stronger. And with this whole training, Izuku and her have become close. So much so that when Izuku actually gets close to her, she is very embarrassed and is scared, is really blushy when it comes to Izuku being closer. And there's been a couple of times where she really messed up and tied up Izuku and just left him there, only for her to remember. And probably hours later, Izuku's right there, just like, I need water. I need water. This is the beach. And this hurts. And, you know, Jolyne has told him before how she feels. Izuku being, not clear in the head, Jolyne just has to explain to him until one day, after the 10-month period, Izuku actually, he finds out that Jolyne likes him by getting kissed by her. And Izuku, since he likes it so much, he tells her that, what was that for? She says that she likes him. She likes what happened. She felt something like this before, when Izuku saved her, or sacrificed his life to help her out. Izuku, he's ecstatic, and he's not mad or feeling. He's not nervous. He is, but it's like he really wants to go out with her too. And this is when Jolyne says, "Is that a yes?" Izuku says, "Yes, that is a yes." Now, Izuku looks around, and he's trying to hold her hand while they're walking, because this is when they're going home. So he really wants to hold her hand, and Jolyne is trying to extend it, because it's like he's trying to make the first move. That's kind of that's kind of manly. But she sees that Izuku is unable to give the hand. He's like shaking a bit. This is when Izuku's like, I have to try to do it. I gotta try to make the first move. I'm scared. And this is when he actually feels something. Some string just tugging on his hand and just pulling closer and closer to her hand, making contact, landing in the freaking field, and boom, holding her hand. So Jolyne is blushing way heavily now, because she realizes that she wanted it so much more that she used her stand to get it. Izuku actually kind of embarrassed but happy at the same time. Jolyne sees this and says, "Don't look at me right now. I'm trying to be embarrassed, but I want to be embarrassed properly." Now, after the 10 months, Izuku goes to school, and with his newfound confidence, Izuku's really like, I could do it. And walking around, everybody doesn't notice him because he looks way different. Jolyne gave him a new look, basically doing his hair a bit differently, instead of having it just go like in different directions but in bunches. It's actually like smaller. Just look at this, and giving him a new look at life. Jolyne actually follows him, and he doesn't know at first, but with Izuku hearing that Ida's saying something, and then Ida talking crap a bit, Izuku is like, I do, I don't know what you mean, and Izuku's just like trying to look away, but Ida's like, see, look at this. This guy here does not really want to follow the rules. That's why he's embarrassed. He's ashamed. This is when Jolyne just pops, just like, she was supposed to technically be in the back, not talking, but after her hearing what, he's saying about, Izuku, she's on fighter mode and proceeds to like try to strangle him a bit, but nobody notices. She wanted to actually just walk up there and just pound him, and freaking kick him in the head, you know. But can't do that, especially in a class in a school where there's several heroes, not just down like in the down section, but like actual. There's top 10 heroes in there. So Izuku just looks at her, and he's actually embarrassed, where he just covers his face. Oh, and if you guys are wondering about Bakugo is there. He decided he's still gonna join. It's just that he trained too. Like, he trained a little bit in order to protect his ego, saying that it was just all a fluke. He was probably a little sick that day. That's why he couldn't just get out. And he saw that Izuku ran and basically jumped in the way, or at least to protect her. At least to protect Jolyne. So Bakugo's just like seething with anger right now, just like he's like, I don't know why, but this guy here Deku here helped me out. I don't know how he helped me, but I'm gonna find out. So Izuku looks at Bakugo, and Bakugo looks at him. Izuku just looks away. And the whole thing, and the whole like race thing, or not the race thing. The course that they have to take. They're gonna do it in a couple of minutes. So Izuku is there, and Jolyne is there, but she's wishing Izuku luck. Now the people who are there in that little section, they see them actually together, and Izuku is holding her, saying that he's very nervous when he's around people, and she says, "Well, use your stand," and he says, "Wait, what are you talking about?" Izuku, and she says, "Well, if you use your stand, you won't be able to see them." Izuku's like, "Yeah, you're right. I won't be able to see them." So this is when these two just start, giving a kissing section, and Izuku, not realizing that Ida is right there, saying, "Izuku, Izuku, this is not the time to be going out with people, to be kissing people." And Ida's like, "The rest of us here have to do our thing, but we can't when you're doing shameless actions while using the hand of God on his side. Just swinging that robotic arm around." And Izuku says, "Wait, what? I thought they couldn't see me." And Jolyne says, "Well, yeah, you couldn't see them, but that's because that your stand is in front of you. They could see you. They could see you. Don't worry, they can see you." And he's like, "But how? Oh, sheesh. Oh, yeah, you're right." This is when he thinks to himself, Of course he's right. He forgot the one thing about stands. People without a stand can't see stands. So Izuku is there just like blushing hardcore. And Jolyne is blushing a bit too, because for a second, even she forgot it, but you know, she's playing it along like, yeah, this was all a part of my plan. Just to know that I'm very good at tricking people. And this is when she hears that she hears something that Ida said afterwards, saying that hopefully he fails, so that way him and that shameless woman can just get out of their sight and actually let the people who want to be real heroes do a thing. Jolene's got a couple of words to say about him. So Izuku's there, and Izuku's there like in the middle, and when it says ready set go, they all start running. Izuku is just, you know, trying to find a place to go to. He's trying to find like robots to kill, and Izuku can't find one. But when he finds a couple of them, he gets hit by one, and while falling, he actually gets held by by Jolyne. Now, Jolyne is there, just giving him a bit of a help, and he says in a couple of words that Jolyne understands, and she backs off, saying that, well, he actually wants to do this by himself. But while fighting the robots, he actually drills a couple of them, and with quick succession too. The good thing about Izuku's stand, it's not like the Joestar stand where it's like probably 5 to 3 meters away, so he can actually do it at long ranges. His range is a pretty fair amount of range between him and the stand. So Izuku is just concentrating on just holding out his hand and basically pretending he's drilling, when technically he is drilling because his stand is, and doing that, seeing that, you know, yeah, this is my stand, and I actually can drill stands a bit. I can actually drill. So he actually makes a lot of points here. Like, he makes around probably 50 points less than Bakugo. This is when the hero. This is when the whole like 0 pointer thing happens, and Izuku is running. And while looking at Uraraka, he sees that, you know, Uraraka's there, but then he sees this big robots, and he's terrified. For a couple of seconds, he's just like in canon. But nah, he remembers that he has power now. Not only that, power that can help him out. And he's like looking at him and just like staring, trying to control himself. But he looks at it after a couple of seconds with just this determination to beat it, to put this thing on the ground. This is when the freaking stand of his, from a big robot, basically something just pops out of it, which is a humanoid version now of a stand. It kind of has the same thing as Izuku, but the color is actually red and green. Not only that, it basically has its shoulders has spikes on it that can turn into drills. his kneecaps, his freaking elbows, even parts of his feet have drills. I'm now that I think about it, it should be like somewhat the same as Gurren Lagann. So it's right there. It's from drill bit to big boy to to drill master. Now, this is when he said he just starts, tells it to charge, and Izuku starts running, grabbing Uraraka, and just basically putting out his hands, telling the drill bit to actually start drilling from the center, and then with a swift motion, using his fingers to control it, picking it up, and well, the drill is just going straight up, causing it to drill inside the freaking head of the zero pointer, causing it to die. And everybody sees this, what Izuku did, and they're like, you know what, this guy is really strong. I don't know why we thought we could beat him, but Izuku says, all of you that didn't do a thing to protect her, you're all cowards. Just letting you all know that right now. How dare any of you decide to be a hero? This is when Jolyne's like, my man's becoming a man. He's taking authority now. He's back talking. I like this Izuku now. So while doing that, while getting upset at them, the zero pointer basically falls, heading towards Deku. Deku not noticing this, and Jolyne actually trying to use her stand, but it actually doesn't reach. Izuku says, Drill Master. And this is when the Drill Master says, oh yeah, we got this. Just keep drilling them away. And it's basically doing a punch. And while it punches it looks like a drill is just like coming through. And while doing that, it actually drills a huge chunk of the zero pointer away, causing metal to fly around. So Izuku's there, and the others see it. This is when they're like, yeah, there's no point in, fighting Izuku. There's no point fighting the person right there. He will kill us if we think about hurting him. So Izuku's like, yeah, it's good if you guys walk away. There'll be less bloodshed. So after that, Jolyne actually is there in the house a lot more often. I mean, she goes to her house, but they spend time in each other's houses. Izuku and her, go shopping a bit, and he actually buys her a couple of things, such as like a little drill necklace, saying that, well, as it looks like, my stand's drill bit, so at least, my stand will always be there to protect you. And she kind of does the same, but with pearls, necklaces, like a sea, I forgot what the word is, but like a sea themed necklace, and has like little shells and little bits of like a little bottle of sand. And Izuku tells her that she tells him that her stand will always be there for him. Now Izuku and her are just getting blushy, so they just walk around. and he says that she looks really good today with that kind of clothing on. Jolyne is a little flustered by that and says that, you look good with your clothes on too. And this is when, the date's going all well. And after that, pretty much the field is, we're going to just have them be there at the field test. And Aizawa's there. And Izuku, since he's technically the first one after scoring a lot of hero points, he actually uses the drill thing and basically throw it as high as he could, causing the drill thing to catch it on top. It's around 45 meters, and well, that's a very long way. Like, that's a very distant kind of freaking thing. That's how far the drill master can go. So Izuku says, what's called shocking wave or something. Like, he makes up his own attack, causing the ball to basically go at a faster rate. Like, instead of 87 miles per hour, this thing goes like 190. And Izuku's like, oh yeah, the ball's going faster now. So it reaches up to 1,110. So this is when they think to themselves, Izuku is strong. And Izuku doesn't actually win a lot of the other things, nor does he do nor is like the side-to-side jumps. Mineta has that still. Izuku has different things on him that he could do. Now, Izuku, he's already winning by a lot. This is when people look at him and says that, how is he so good at this? What's his secret? And Izuku says, I have a very good telekinetic power on me. I get it from my mother. Bakugo actually just walks up to him and grabs him by his shirt, saying, how did you do it? Like, I'm supposed to be top dog here. And he's about to punch Izuku, but Izuku basically just closes his eyes and sees that Bakugo's a little tied up. Not by freaking not by Jolyne, but by Aizawa. Aizawa tells Bakugo to stop it, and Bakugo basically just gets upset. Izuku walks away. Jolyne is there because she joins the school, but she just does the regular courses. So Izuku's there, saying thank you. Jolyne, being sneaky and stuff, is actually using Stone Ocean to slap Izuku's butt, and Izuku just feels it's like, or just does a girly scream. And this is when they wait, what was that, Izuku? And Izuku says, I don't know, I think my voice cracked. So, give me a second here, people. Now, Izuku, like I was going to say before, Izuku goes and, well, he's just happy. I mean, Izuku is scared, but he's happy, but he's mad at himself, and he has a bunch of emotions just swirling him around. Not because of his stand, but because it should have been impossible. And while talking with her, he explains that it's all because of her. I mean, it's like, if he wasn't there, if she wasn't there, he doesn't know what would have happened to him. But he also knows that she's special in his life. They technically, well, they're saying that, you know, they're showing their truest of feelings. And Izuku tells her that hopefully I'm with you for a very long time. But without realizing this, Jolyne is just like, a long time. That makes me very happy, Izuku. And in her mind, she's like, he just somewhat proposed to me. He proposed to me. He really must propose to me. Babies. He proposed to me. And this is when basically she says that we're gonna get married soon. And Izuku says, wait a minute, I'm not even a hero yet. I'm not even 20. And she says, doesn't matter, I'm still marrying you, you big lug. Or not you big lug, you freaking, you nerd. This is when he's like, oh no, not another Bakugo. So, yeah. However, there is a couple of people that are gonna, you know, that are not gonna be just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna let that slide by. Jojo and Grandpa Jojo and the rest of the Joestar family are gonna visit Izuku's household. But that's only in a couple of months. But Izuku, either way, joins them. Or, you know, so the hero versus villains exam, Izuku won. And let me tell you how. It's not even Izuku versus, what's it called, Bakugo. It's actually Izuku versus Todoroki. Todoroki used ice to charge at him, but because Izuku's power and just somewhat walks through this whole ice thing, that whatever he shoots at him doesn't affect him. Izuku just tells him to just keep drilling, and Todoroki was about to be like, okay, I win. But he sees Izuku, and Izuku right there, just looking at him, is like, there's no way you're gonna beat me. Just punches him in the gut, and after that, grabs him and throws him outside. This is when Todoroki basically, you know, used his ice to move him out of the way, or to at least get him to not die. Izuku sees Ida, and Ida's like, there's no way you're gonna beat me, because he has ice and I have physical power. But he dodges Todoroki's attack. He grabs his leg and basically pummels him down to the ground. Just punches him on his head, causing him to basically lose. And Izuku just grabs some rope, ties his arms up, and yeah. This is when he pretty much just walks to the bomb and is like, Izuku, you already won. You don't have to keep doing this. And Izuku just touches the bomb. He's like, I won. And he's like, yeah, I know, you won. We told you you won. And Izuku's like, yeah, but I did two things. How many of you guys could say that? Bakugo is mad now. He's like, I want to fight him now. And Izuku, after knowing that he's going to be wedded to, or she's gonna wed him, or she wants him, and they're gonna be married very soon. I'm talking about like before the fall, not the fall. This is like, I don't know how to say it. Before All Might versus One for All. So yeah, it's gonna be there soon. Now, Izuku and Jolyne do their own thing. After Izuku talks crap about Bakugo saying, me and you are no longer friends, nor am I going to listen to what you say, because all you do is talk crap, and you're the weakest one out of the two of us. By a large margin, you don't compare to me anymore. That's why I don't bother talking with you too much. And Bakugo hearing this, make sure to say, like, what the hell did you just say to me? Izuku just says, you heard me. You are no longer my rival. I do not even want to think of you as one. And that's basically where Bakugo wants to fight him. But, he says, if you do that, then you'll be expelled by Aizawa. And you might beat me, but then you'll get out of this school. So, after a while, Izuku and Jolyne go on their other dates. And after that date, just getting some burgers and walking around the park, they go and they basically sleep. Izuku and her basically got to a more comfortable position where Izuku's technically on the bottom and just sleeping face up, while Jolyne is on top of him, just sleeping on his chest, saying that she doesn't want to move from the spot ever again. And they are just going out, and Izuku feels more safe with her, and vice versa. After a while, they go to their own separate ways, and Izuku isn't, what's the word? He isn't scared anymore of being alone or being by himself. He knows he has her. And, an unofficial wedding will one day be there. So, that's a plus. Izuku and her are just becoming, so close to where, yeah, sure, they're dating already. Of course they're dating. But Izuku says that if they were to get married the very next day, tuxedo in hand, he wouldn't hesitate too much to say no. He would just go for it. And she's made a big impact on Izuku's life. I'm talking about, like, she's someone now in his life where if he really wanted to, he could possibly just, go for broke. But, after all that, Izuku and her keep talking and stuff, and this is going to be before the, the USJ facility, the USJ training arc. And that's where I'm going to leave it off. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, I can't say it like I said before, but like I said in the beginning, just like, comment, do subscribe to the channel, and it's gonna just be loaded up after I edit it. So this has been the Fallout with a Fear. Bye.